Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's maths lesson, which is our last lesson on statistics and data handling. So to begin with, let's see what it is we're going to need for today's lesson. And today you will need a dry white pen, a whiteboard, a pencil and paper, and a ruler. If you need to collect any of those things, pause the video here. Now, let's get on with today's lesson. And I'm afraid to say I've got us into a bit of a problem because I've gone and got us trapped in this room and we need to try and escape. The only way to escape is by putting the code into the door onto the keypad. And in order to get the code, there are 3 challenges to do. You can choose which one you would like to do. So you could do the top challenge with our canoeist. 10 take away 7, 10 divided by 2, and 10 take away 1. You could do the boat challenge, which most of you will be able to do, and you've got some division and multiplication problems there, including a missing number 1. And some of you might think that you want to do the bottom submarine challenge. And for that one of the questions, you've got 2 parts. You've got to solve the first part and then take away the second part. And you've got some multiplication and division problems in there. Choose which one you want to do. You've got 100 seconds and your time's already started. Off you go. Try and solve them so we don't get stuck in this room forever. "60 seconds, we've got 1 minute left. If you do complete the challenge you're doing, try and complete another one as well. We've now got just about half a minute left, which is 30 seconds. Oh no, I think the red flashing light is telling us we're running out of time and we might get trapped in this room. I hope you've managed to solve the code. 5 seconds. Right, let's quickly see if we can get out of the room. What are the answers? What is the code? Well, let's have a little look. On the top challenge, 10 take away 7 was 3. 10 divided by 2 was 5. 10 take away 1 was 9. And on to the next one, 15 take away 5 was 3. 5 times 10 was 50, and 18 divided by 2 was 9. And on the bottom challenge, our 2 bits that we had to solve, 120 divided by 10, well, that is 12. Take away half of 8, that's 9. 12 take away 9 is 3. 5 times 20 is 100, and 45 divided by 5 is 9. On each of those challenges, we've got the numbers 3, 5, 9. So that must be the code for the door. Let's type it in quickly. Phew, we are free. Off you go, everybody. No, not just yet, because we've got a maths lesson to do and then you're free. You can escape after that, but well done if you cracked the code. Now, today, our question is, how do brilliant mathematicians use block diagrams? We're going to have a little look at block diagrams in a second. In the last couple of days, if you remember, we've been looking at tally charts and pictograms. So block diagrams today. And here we've got some block diagrams for you. And there's a few questions for you to think about. Question number 1, what does the number line with the orange blocks show? What number is it showing? Question 2, what is the same about those 2 number lines? And question 3, what is different about the 2 number lines? Pause the video here and have a little think about those few questions for a moment. Okay, have you had a good think? Let's go through the answers then. So, what does the number line with the orange blocks show? Well, if we count up those blocks and if we look across the line, we can see that it shows 4. There are 4 orange blocks. The second question, I wonder if you spotted any things here. What is the same about the 2 number lines? Did you spot anything? There's a couple of things that are the same. Well, they both go up in ones. Those number lines can go up in fives, tens, twos. They can go up in anything, but both of those number lines go up in ones. And anything else the same? Oh yes, they both show the number 4. We've got the orange one goes up to 4 and the green one goes up to 4. 4 orange blocks and 4 green blocks. Did you spot anything different? Well, we could say the color of the cubes is different. That's quite obvious to us, isn't it? And one is vertical and one is horizontal. Vertical means it goes up like that, like a tower. And horizontal means it goes across like that. That's how we sleep, horizontally. So vertical is that way, horizontal is that way. But the number lines, other than that, they are the same, aren't they? Now let's remember back to our work on pictograms. We've got a pictogram here of some cubes, and we've got some green, yellow and red cubes. And the key says that 1 cube is worth 1 cube. So I know that I can count up my green cubes and I can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green cubes in total. And then we've got 8, 9, 10, 11 yellow cubes. Did you see I started at 8 and counted on because I knew that I had 8 green cubes and I could count on to find the rest of my yellow cubes. And then we've got 1 red cube. Now, here's Sunny and his friend, and they're saying, let's make real towers using cubes. So they're going to use that pictogram to make those into real towers. That's a good idea. If you're lucky enough to have cubes at home, you might want to do the same. So get some cubes out then, Sunny. There we go. So can you remember how many green cubes you needed? Yep, 8. And then how many yellow cubes? 11, and just 1 red cube. Now, I think what we could do is use what we can see there to draw a block diagram. So the first thing we're going to need is some paper. Now, squared paper is good to do block diagrams, but if we haven't got squared paper, we can use some blank paper and we can draw our grids on it, or we can use lined papers and we can draw some vertical lines on it. So the first thing we need to do is to draw some lines. That line going up like that, that's our vertical line. And we also need to do a horizontal line that goes across. Now, up the side, up our vertical line, we're going to put the numbers, and our numbers need to go up to the largest number of cubes that we've got. Can you remember what that was? That was 11. So we need to go all the way up to 11. And I think we're going to go up in ones. So I'm going to put 1 there, 2 there, and go up in ones all the way up to 11. And then across our, what was that word again? Horizontal. Across our horizontal line, we're going to write in each of those columns the name, the color of the cube. So I want green, yellow, and red. Okay, so first things first, let's color in our blocks to show how many green cubes there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm coloring them in carefully so I don't go too far. 8. There we go. And now I'm going to color in my yellow cubes. And do you know what? I can save a bit of time here. I can color all the way in up to 8. And I know by looking at the towers there, I've got to color in 3 more yellow cubes. And that takes us up to 11. And with our red cubes, well, we've just got 1 red cube. So that is our block diagram. And that's a nice way to show data, to show information. And that's what we're going to be looking at today, block diagrams. Here's another block diagram for you. And we asked some children what their favorite colors are. And this shows what we found out. So we can see that yellow, orange, red, and blue are the favorite colors of the children. What's your favorite color? Here, there's lots of information that we can find out. And we've got some questions for you to think about. Now, we're going to go through these questions all together. But at any time, if you want to pause the video to have a little think, then that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to put that pause picture up to remind you. So question number 1, it says use the block diagram to answer the questions. Question A, which color is most popular? So popular means the one that most people like. Now, if we look at our block diagram, can you answer that? Which has got the biggest number? That's right, it's the yellow, isn't it? So on that line there, I could write yellow. Okay. The next, oh, I always have that squiggly line, don't I? The next question, B, how many people chose blue as their favorite? Can you work that one out? So to find that one, here's our blue column, and the blue goes up to here. If I trace that across, well, that shows me that 9 people chose blue as their favorite. And question C, what color is the least popular? That means which color did least people like, the fewest people like? So if I look at the block diagram there, well, I can see that red only goes here up to 5. So the least popular color is red. Did you get that one? Here's a few more questions for us. Okay, question D says, how many people chose orange as their favorite? Can you work that one out? So the orange goes all the way up to 9. Oh, now the next one, we've got a little bit more thinking about here. How many more people like yellow than orange? How many more people like yellow than orange? So we just found out that 9 people like orange, but to find out how many more like yellow, all we need to do is look at this gap here. That's the difference between the orange and the yellow, and we can see that there's 2 more colored in, so 2 more people like yellow than orange. Next question, how many more people like yellow than red? Oh, have a think about that. How are we going to work that one out? How many more people like yellow than red? So again, if you think back to some of our lessons yesterday, do you remember some of the children in our questions decided that they would do some takeaway to find the answers to questions like this? But we could also just look at this gap here. So if we count that up, that is the gap, the difference between the red and the yellow, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many more people like yellow than red? 6 more people do. And then the last bit, how did you work out your answers to E and F? Could you, if there's somebody at home or next to you, can you just explain to them how you work them out? Okay, let's go on to another question. Oh, look, it's Rosie and Teddy. Rosie and Teddy, they've been for a nice day out. They've been to the zoo and they've got a load of balloons there, haven't they? I wonder how many balloons they've got. Let's have a little look. So we have got a pictogram here to show how many balloons Rosie and Teddy have got. And there's a key. We always need a key so we know what the numbers mean, don't we? And what the pictures mean, rather. So it says the colors there, we've got red and green. And the key, one picture of a balloon equals 10 balloons. Can you work out how many balloons each of them have got yet? Have a little think. What does it show? If there's somebody nearby, tell them how many balloons, how many red balloons there are and how many green balloons there are. Okay, let's see if we can put that information onto a block diagram. Now, let's work this out. So we've got our red balloons and that key means 10 balloons. Well, I can see there's 2 pictures of red balloons. So if I color in 2 blocks on my my block diagram, is that right? What do you think? There's also 2 green balloons. Shall I colour in 2 blocks on my block diagram? That looks about right. There's 2 red balloons and 2 green ones. Something's not right, is it? What's the problem with that? Can you have a think what I've done wrong? Okay, well, let's have a little look. So in our key, it says 1 balloon, a picture of balloon equals 10 balloons. So for the red ones, I've got 10 and I've got half a balloon. So that means 5. So I've got 10 and 5. So there's 15 balloons altogether. And actually, on my block diagram, I've coloured in 2 blocks, but each of those blocks is going up in 5s. It goes 5, 10. So I need to colour in all the way up to 15. So I need to colour in 1 more block. And if we look at our green balloons, well, there's 2 balloons in our pictogram, and because each balloon is 10, that's 20 balloons. On my block diagram below, I've coloured in 2 blocks, but each block only means 5. So altogether, I need to go 5, 10, 15, 20. I need to colour in 2 more blocks. 1, 2. So it depends on your key how many blocks you're going to colour in, and on your pictogram it depends on what your key is for that, or how many balloons you will need. Now we're going to go on to your task now, because I would like you to draw some block diagrams. And to begin with, our first task, this one, you might want to do this, you can all attempt this one, but I'll talk for this one and then I've got some other tasks afterwards. So you might want to have a look at them all and then decide which one you do and rewind the video to the right place. So it says, create a block diagram going up in units of 1, and I'll talk through this. Now, if you're lucky enough to have any sweets at home, any Skittles or something like that, you could use a packet of sweets and count out the colours, or you could use mine that I've got here. So I've got a packet of Skittles and I've sorted them out into coloured piles. Let's work out how many of each coloured Skittle there are. So orange, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 orange ones. Okay, let's count the yellow ones. That's 4 yellow ones, sorry. Let's count the purple ones. 4 purple ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green ones, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red ones. Which is your favourite colour of Skittles? Have you ever had them? My favourite is orange. There's lots of orange ones there, so I'm quite happy about that. Now, what we're going to do, or what you're going to do, is to use the numbers there to make a block diagram. So the first thing you'll need is some paper. Now, if you've got squared paper at home, that's brilliant. If not, you can use some lined paper like I've got here. And do you remember when we were doing our, when we looked at the block diagram before, that we had a vertical line and a horizontal line? Well, we've already got some horizontal lines there, so we do need to draw some vertical lines. So I'm going to need my ruler and a pencil, and I'm going to draw my vertical line going down like that. Okay, and I'm going to keep drawing vertical lines like this to make the squares. And can you see I'm lining up my ruler each time to make sure that my lines are straight. I need to have 5 columns because we've got 5 different coloured sweets. There we go, that's 5 columns. Can you see that I've made 5 of them? And because I've got 10 is my biggest number, I need to make sure that my lines go up to 10. And luckily enough, on my piece of paper, they do. So you need to check that before you draw it. So it says going up in units of 1. So, let me just put my colours on first. So red, yellow, orange, purple, and green. And now, because we're going up in units of 1, I'm going to put my numbers up the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I can start to colour in my blocks. So I'm going to do my red ones first. There we go. And then I want you to draw your pictogram, your block diagram, sorry, and do the rest of the colours. So if you decide to do this one, that should take you no more than 15 minutes. You might want to have a look at the other challenges first. Okay. So on to our next level of challenge. We've got some different piggy banks here, and in each of those piggy banks we've got some money. We've been saving up 5 and 10p's. In the pink piggy bank, that's how much money we've got. In the kind of bluey greeny colour, well, we'll call that blue, we've got that much money. In the purple one, we've got that much, and in the green one, we've got those coins. So what I would like you to do is to use those coins, create a block diagram to show the money, but I want this time your units not to go up in 1s, but to go up in 5s. So every time you're going up 5 more. Okay, so if you want to do this challenge, pause the video here. Again, you should be able to do that in 15 minutes. And always the rule is with these things, do it nice or do it twice. Try and make sure that you do it nice and neatly and clearly. And so on to our third challenge, and for this one we are using the same piggy banks with the same coins in, but the difference is if you choose this challenge, I would like you to create a block diagram going up in units of 10, and you'll have to think carefully about that one because not all of the numbers of coins are 10s numbers. Some of them will end in a 5, so think how you will show that on your block diagram. It should take you no longer than 15 minutes to do a lovely block diagram for this one. Okay, good luck with your challenges. Right, if you did the first challenge, hopefully you will have a block diagram which looks something like this. So just compare yours with this one. Do you think you did it correctly? Okay. If you did the second challenge where we had the coins going up in units of 5, then your block diagram should look something like this one. And if you did the money challenge with the block diagram going up in units of 10, then yours should look a little bit like this. And for some of those numbers, like with the pink piggy bank, which had 25 pence in it, the pink line had to be halfway between 20 and 30. And then the purple piggy bank, which had 45p, we had to show that halfway between 40 and 50. So well done if that's what your block diagram looked like. And that brings us to the end of today's maths lesson. And actually, it's the last maths lesson for this week, because tomorrow we have got some slightly different challenges for you to do tomorrow, all based around the story of the Lighthouse Keeper's Lunch. So I will see you for a maths lesson next week. Enjoy your work tomorrow and have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.